Our guest at Northwest Federal is Frank Lane, who's been a part of baseball as long as I can remember. He also got the nickname the Trader because he was in action most of the time. Frank, what would you say was the best deal and the worst deal that you ever made?
Well, the best deal I ever made was the first one, when I traded Aaron Robinson to Detroit for Billy Pearson, $25,000. If Detroit had waited a week, they could have had Aaron Robinson, because I'd asked waivers for the idea of getting rid of him. Not that he had been a good ball player and has been a good ball player, but he's at the end of the line. The worst deal I ever made turned out, of course, when you trade Major League ball players, there's no bad Major League ball players, but some are better than others, and I try to get those that were better than others. But Fred Hutchison was my manager, and he said, Frank, we're just too left-handed. Got to get rid of somebody so I can use a right-hander, and they just save all the left-handers. So I traded Bill Verdon to Pittsburgh, got Bobby Del Greco and a left-hand pitcher named Dick Littlefield. Bobby Del Greco was a tremendous defensive outfielder, didn't hit. Littlefield could throw the ball hard but didn't win. I would say that was, because every time I looked up when Verdon come into town, into St. Louis, in the garb of the Pittsburgh club, Verdon was either making a great catch off the fence or hitting one of those dying quails over shortstop for a base hit. So I would say that was the one that panned out the worst.
You were associated with a couple of people in baseball that I can think about that used to give you a few laughs once in a while. What about Max Sircont and Jack Onslow?
Well, now you brought that up. You mean Sirloin Max, huh? I remember we were beating Detroit in about the sixth inning, about 5-2, something like that, for the sixth inning, and Sircont was pitching, and Vic Wirtz was playing first base for Detroit, and he hit that's the first time I ever seen a ball player, a pitcher taken out because of a foul ball. And he hit 2 bullet line drives in the upper deck at Comiskey Park, fouled about 5 feet. And Onslow took Sircont out because of those 2 foul balls. I would say that Max had been up with the Cardinals before that. And, of course, as you know, when I came to Chicago, I had inherited a ball club that the year before had won 50 and lost 103 ball games. A little short on money and a little short on ball players. But I had a formula I followed. I would take a pitcher that had won 8 games and take the pitcher that won 8 games and maybe an infielder and outfielder and give them the other club for a pitcher that won 10 games. When I make 4 deals like that, I've added potentially eight winning games and followed all the way through. Any time I could get somebody I thought was a little better than what I had, and that meant I had to make a lot of deals. And it wasn't easy to make a lot of deals and convince people or baseball people that a player who had just helped lose 103 ball games was going to help him win. But the fact I threw that extra man in, that was the thing.
Was the late Lou Gehrig part of your time?
Yeah, oh yes.
That was a wonderful guy.
It was the saddest thing to see him recline physically. A tremendous guy. I remember he went to high school 101 in New York, one of the finest built men I ever saw. And my brother-in-law, Ray Dugan, had a county finance company in St. Petersburg, and all the Yankees were investors in that company. And as a consequence, Colonel Rupert I'd see Colonel Rupert and Ruth and Gehrig, and Miller Huggins was the little manager and everything else. So remember, there's no truth in the story that I held the lamp while Doubleday laid out the diamond.